What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 8 of Building the Ultimate Motorcycle Garage, the series where I take you guys along with me while I transform a typical renter's garage to what I consider the ultimate motorcycle garage. In the last episode, we built that thing. And in this episode, we finally say goodbye to this garbage lighting. Let's get started. Also, we're going to be on a slightly new lens today that can take in more light. So ironically, I got a lens that would be better in low light on the episode where I'm going to diminish all of the low light in the garage. Good times. So guys, as you can see, I moved the camera so that you could see the entire lighting setup of the entire garage. You can see an LED here, an LED shop light here, and this little puny, I don't even know what that is. So these sidebars are LED shop panels, and originally I only bought them because they were a good temporary solution so I could attach them. And as you can see, they're attached to just the rods that hold the garage door open. Now, originally I bought these things because they were only like 50 bucks at Home Depot, and I could get 2 of them and hypothetically get some like good temporary lighting for the garage. I've got to say, throughout this entire process, I've been really impressed with these things, especially for only being $50. So what I decided to do was get 4 more of them, and we're gonna install them in the ceiling. So if you guys have been watching the Ultimate Motorcycle Garage, the entire series, you'll know the episode me and Dan installed these little temporary lighting, and I did the wiring for this thing. So all of that's gonna be redone today, and I'm gonna be taking these lights off, and we're gonna be putting all of the new ones into the actual ceiling. Now, these lights all come with little chains that you can hang on hooks. Obviously, my ceiling doesn't have any hooks in it currently. Luckily, hooks are super cheap, and I got these from Home Depot. I don't know if they're a good brand, but they're hooks and they should just screw into the ceiling. The way I plan on arranging these LED shop lights is I've got 6 of them, and I'm gonna do 2 rows with 3 lights. There's gonna be a light in the middle and then a light on both sides, and I'm gonna do 2 rows of those. Now, before I get to doing that, I've gotta take down the temporary lighting, so say goodbye to this garbage lighting that we have had to been dealing with for a minute. Between you and me, this is where I'm really thankful that I like barely put those together and had no clue what I'm doing, because now all I gotta do is cut some zip ties and call it a day. So guys, I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to light myself while I take the old lighting down, because obviously I have to have light for you guys to see me. Then I totally remembered this little studio light that I've been using for videos for a while. A company just like sent it over, and it's just this like little panel, and I've got it attached to a stand, but it's like bright as hell, so I'm hoping it'll work a lot. Shit. All right, lighting, nailed it. Hopefully that's gonna be enough light for you guys. I think this light's pretty cheap. I'll put it on. I'll put it in the description if you guys want to check it out. All right, 1 light down, 1 more to go. So all these lights are pretty straightforward. They've got 2 little holes that little hooks go into. So what I'm gonna do now is measure the distance of what these 2 holes, like the distance between these 2 holes, and I'm going to go ahead and get the hooks put into the ceiling. So what I'm doing is just hand screwing them in. I let a friend of mine borrow my drill. I think what I probably could do is put a drill bit on my drill and like drill tiny little holes and then like twist them in from there. But this is all I've got, so doing it by hand wasn't too bad. I think we should test 1 light before we go do and install all of them though. So I'm gonna try installing 1 of these lights up here, and then we'll kind of go from there, and then I'll finish it up. All right, so initial test, not horrible. So what you can see is I ended up just putting a zip tie over the very top little metal piece. And the metal piece is actually what attaches into the hook. Now, if you guys are worried about like, well, what's gonna happen when you pull it? We don't have to worry about that because I'm gonna show you guys later. I'm never gonna have to touch these lights. Once I get them all installed, like no touching of them will ever go on. The pull tabs won't be used at all. That seems to work for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for the entire garage. And we're just gonna have some wires hanging for a minute and then I'll show you guys what we're gonna do with those after I get them all installed. Okay, let's put the rest of these LEDs in. That one was a right pain in the arse for all you UK people or anybody else that uses the word arse. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got this weird like alien rope thing hanging down, but they're all installed. They're probably not perfectly straight, but it's okay. You can see that they are much higher than the old ones were. So these are gonna be way more out of frame. Now something else you should notice is I've put all of the power strips towards the middle of the garage. And the reason I did that is because if you guys remember, we're still going to be routing everything to this middle socket to power everything from. Now, something else you're probably noticing is these cords, especially on the outside, there's no way they are going to make it all the way to that guy. Just no way that's gonna happen. So, in preparation, turn light, I've bought 6 6-foot black extension cables, which is perfect because that's gonna match the black on here. Before you say anything, yes, I do realize that I made the hanging wire problem even worse now. So what I gotta do now is route all the power cables to the little area in the middle where the outlet is, and that way we can start bringing everything together. Guys, do you see what that thing looks like? It actually was kind of crazy with all the cables coming together. All right, so before I go over there and like get everything plugged in together, I got these cool little things. These look like little brackets that I can nail into the ceiling to hold the wire. So my plan is to put maybe 2 or 3 of these in between the light and this core area. And that way none of the wires are gonna be hanging down. They'll all just be right above the ceiling. The whole point of having the lights so high is so that you guys never see them. Like all the shots, this shot super wide, you can see the ceiling, but like all I gotta do is that. And then you guys can't see anything. And if I have the camera up higher, let's just say I have the camera mounted here, you guys won't be able to see any lights. That being said, I'm gonna go through and nail these to the ceilings to hold these wires. So guys, check out the first one that I did. That worked out really well. It holds it like perfectly. So I'm just gonna put like 2 or 3 of them and hold this cable all the way up to the ceiling. And then I'm gonna do the rest for all the cables so that they all just stay right at ceiling height. All right guys, check it out. So all the cabling is now held into the ceiling with those little hooks, which ended up working out pretty well. But now we've got this cluster of good Lord knows what. So we've got to organize all of this cabling. What we're gonna do is we're gonna plug all of the tiny cords here that are hanging down into this one black extension cable so that we can just have one plug that controls the power for all of the lights. Now remember, we've got LED lights so they don't take a lot of power, and that's one of the main reasons we got LEDs, because we're not gonna like overload circuits and all that kind of crap. Alright, so now I've got everything plugged into this one power outlet. So what I'm gonna do now, before I tidy all of that up, I do want to plug it into the wall to make sure all of the lights work, because if they don't work, we're gonna have to figure some other stuff out and maybe fix some stuff. Look at the lighting though. Holy smokes. This is awesome. Okay. All right, so now we gotta fix this rat nest of a thing. So upon investigating the top of that area, I think what I'm gonna try to do is zip tie all of the cables together around the surge protector. And then from the surge protector, I'm gonna leave all of that on top of the little motor for the garage door. And then I'll just have that one little cable poking out that'll go up into the outlet. Guys, that is a lit ass garage. Holy shit, it is bright in here. Hopefully you guys can tell. Now, typically this is where I would be like, okay, cool, the ceiling works. But I want it to be a slight better than this. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. This is a little Elgato Eve Energy. And what this does is I can plug this into the socket up here. I'm gonna plug my surge protector into this, and then something fun happens. This time we're gonna get funky. Hey Siri, turn the garage on.
Is on.
Is that not some cool shit? So for a lot of you guys, that is probably the stupidest thing you have ever seen. For me, the fact that I can be like, blank, turn the garage on, and all my lights are set up. It is awesome. It makes me feel like I'm living in the future, and that's where I want to live. So that little Eve is actually really easy to set up. You literally plug it in, you scan it with an app, and suddenly it just works. And I'm on iOS. I'm not gonna get into iOS, Android, Windows crap, because I literally have a Windows machine. I work off of a Mac and I have an iPhone, so not gonna get into which phone you should have and all this kind of stuff, but all the stuff I've been using is on iOS, and it has been stupidly easy to get this thing working. I absolutely love it. And I'm gonna call that ceiling lighting done. Next, we can definitely turn this thing off now. Boop. Still a good light though. So in building all the ceiling lighting, we have a bit of a mess. I'm gonna clean this up, and then we're gonna get to stage 2 of lighting the ultimate motorcycle garage. All right, now that I've got the area cleaned up, I have to do a little bit of rearranging based on a lot of the stuff you guys were telling me. A lot of people were saying, Chase, move the big cabinet to the corner and move the table in the middle, and it'll feel like you have more workspace. Well, I'm actually gonna listen to you guys. Everybody take a moment, because this rarely happens. Let's move some stuff. There you go, much better. Okay, now for the actual electrical part. So if you guys have been watching since the flooring episode of this series, you'll know that my flooring doesn't go all the way to the wall. There's this little gap. Well, now I use the gap. I zip tie the cable. Cable runs along the gap and then continues along the wall. Because of the way I have it tucked in there, it's not gonna interfere with anything now, and with the zip ties, it's gonna make sure that the cable doesn't get yanked and pulled out and caught up on stuff, which worked out really good. There we go. Now we have a powered table that you can't even really tell has power in it. I think that's a fantastic solution to get some power to here, but we are not done. So the 6 lights in the ceiling are doing a fantastic job of lighting the entire garage. You guys can tell, especially if you've seen earlier episodes, the lighting in here now is crazy better. Crazy better? It blankets the entire garage with a ton of light, and that's one of the reasons I went with 6 smaller lights instead of 1 or 2 big lights, like the Big Ass lights. There's literally a company called Big Ass. I think they're called Big Ass, and then they make lights and fans. You should check out their light. Supposedly it's super bright, but I needed evenly distributed light. So instead of paying like $300 or $400, which is what I think they cost, I just got 6 small lights that only cost $50 each, which ends up me only paying like $300. Slightly similar price, but I get blanketed light all over the place. That's great for the majority of the time, especially if I'm like doing work on a bike or something like that. I have plenty of light to see what I'm doing. But what if I want mood lighting? I've got 2 words for you. Philips Hue. So if you guys haven't heard of Philips Hue, what they are is a company that has lights that you can control your phone. I've got an LED bar. I've got a white light that you can change from warm to cold and just go back and forth. And I've got this little guy. This is like a Philips Go. What this is a little light with a battery inside of it that can be moved around anywhere I want. Where I see myself using this is not really here in the garage to light anything specifically, but in my videos, if I want to change the color of something or have a background of like pink or blue or red or anything I want, this thing can change any color I need it to. It's got like a million colors. Actually, I can turn it on with this little button. All of this is also controlled by my phone, by the way. Now, as far as the LEDs, there's plenty of places in this garage that I could put these, but where I've decided to put them is on the back of the workbench. So what I'm gonna do now is route these LEDs along the back of the workbench, and then I'm gonna get them turned on and let's check them out. Should be able to turn it on. If I go into it, I should be able to change the color. Hey, nope, yep. All right, so we got Yummy R6, we got Baker X Derrick, we got Chaseontwowheels. Who else has like a distinct color? Oh, Motornosity. Walterific is kind of in this area. Now I want to know what it's going to look like with no lights on. So, hey Siri, turn the garage off.
Okay, the garage is off.
The question is, are you guys able to see me? Oh, see? So what I'm being lit by right now is the Porty, my little portable glove. And you do have to recharge this, by the way. So I can put this behind the camera and I can look red. Or let's go regular. It's actually like, it's a legit little light. Hey Siri, turn the garage on. This is too harsh.
Okay.
There we are. Boom. Anyway, if you guys have some ideas for some cool Philips Hue ideas, let me know, and just like the rearranging of the tables, it could possibly happen. Oh, and if you guys are wondering why I have a Philips Hue light, it's because I ordered a lamp, and for some reason it's not here yet, but I have a lamp that's gonna go on one side of the table. My idea is the little Porty is gonna go on the other side, and that way I'll have lighting on the table if I don't have the overhead lighting on for whatever reason. But this company sent over some weird stuff. So this company contacted me after the first episode of the Ultimate Motorcycle Garage. They're like, hey, we want to sponsor some lighting in there. And I'm like, okay, cool, that'd be great. Called Swiss LED. They sent me a giant LED panel, and y'all, like, look at this. There's like wires in there. Y'all know how bad I am at just regular stuff, so I can't imagine the type of bad stuff that would happen with me with that. I got some like circular light. I don't know what the hell to do with all this stuff. Swiss LED, thanks for all the LED stuff. Pretty sure this is to hold a television onto a wall. So, if you guys have any ideas of what I can do with an LED panel, 2 of those things and some LED bulbs, let me know and maybe we'll do them. There's also something else they sent that I'm a little curious about. They sent me a nightlight, and then they sent this. I don't know. Maybe this guy will have to be like the garage build Easter egg. because he's a bunny. Nailed that joke. It's an Easter bunny. He's a bunny. Anyway, so my idea is to have this little rabbit somewhere in the shots when I'm doing videos here in the garage, and it's kind of gonna be like a joke Easter egg thing. We're plugging the bunny in. Bunny, stay right there. Initiate, but oh. Hey! One of the other things from Philips I got was a light switch. Did you notice that the table just turned off? So this is controlling the garage, which is what I've set up for this room, only with the Philips stuff. So all that I'm gonna do is put some sticky tape right here. And I'm gonna stick it on the door of this room so that when I come in, if I want to turn that stuff on and I haven't already turned it on in the app, boom, boom. I can turn it on, I can turn it off. This thing's gonna come in a lot of handy. Also, you're gonna notice that there is a string hanging from the light. The reason I left the strings hanging is because if for whatever reason I do need to turn some lights off, I don't want it to be a pain in the butt to actually turn them off. If I'm very careful with it and don't just yank it, it should be fine. Now, if somebody grabbed one of those and pulled it hard, it would probably pull the light out of the ceiling. Did that one time while I was installing it. But if you're careful, it works. And guys, that's all I've got for you for episode 8 of Building the Ultimate Motorcycle Garage. I hope you are happy that you can finally see me. Let there be light. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. If you didn't like this video, by all means hit the dislike button, but I ask, let me know in the comments why so I can make better content for you guys moving forward. If you guys want any of the information on all the stuff I installed today, I'm gonna put any links that I can possibly find in the description if you are daring enough to take on this exact same build in your garage. I'm gonna go install a bunny rabbit and figure out where I can hilariously hide him. I'll see you guys on episode 9 where we finalize the lounge. Whatever that means. And we're getting very close to the end of this series. I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. I will see you on the next one. Later. All right, Mr. Bunny, where are you going?